Hello, everybody. My name is RoboPirate Foxy, and welcome back. So, today, today's kind of another spring cleaning episode. I know. I've done like one of them, actually. I haven't done that many. But trust me, it will be with its merit because there's a lot of things that I've kind of left half finished that I'd like to go back and fix up. One is I've kind of just left the raid farm portals just uncovered, and I said I'd cover these up. So I definitely want to do that, and that's kind of the first major thing because that's the simplest and least impactful, while also something I really actually left and abandoned. So next is the Nether Hub. Not that I'm going to finish the whole thing, but I'd really like to get the fungus farms going just because I want to build a tree farm that gives me the crimson and warped wood. Because for all my needs, I've kind of just been coming down here and ripping and tearing. But I kind of like the nice. Okay, why does I look at fire? But I kind of like the nice scenery down here, so I like to get the fungus farms going so I can make a tree farm and at the very least do that, especially so I can get weeping or whatever these vines were called because I really like them. I forget. Next is I don't really know how much I can show this, but I really want to get rid of all these chests that are just sitting here from my old bartering farm, just because I've kind of abandoned them. I've even left some of my like netherite mining stuff over here, so I'd really like to clean it all up and get it just away. It doesn't really matter for the fact that it's not like I'm over here or ever show this area in a video. But, this is a lot of resources sitting here. Especially, like, on the obsidian front or, like, the crying obsidian front. And, I have 3 storage rooms in my base. So, even besides just putting them right in the barterer, I have somewhere to put all the stuff from this farm. And then finally, this kind of goes with my last point, but I just want to say it, is I have a bunch of chests just sitting around full of stuff around my base, building supplies, all that I'd like to clean up. Same thing goes in my storage room, actually, where I just have a bunch of shulkers piling up. And I don't really think I can too much show these ones, but I'd like them to be part of today's activities. So, yeah. And then finally, to end the episode off with, I'm going to finally put whatever the hell I'm putting here. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm probably gonna start with the sorting because that's the most boring and the least thing I can show you. Oh, I ran into a wall. That's probably the most boring and the least thing I can show you. Just because it's literally chest storage. I'll be like, here's what it looked like before. And then, sparkly transition. This is kind of the only proof I have. I mean, I have a screenshot of the chest getting picked up, but I did everything and it resulted in this, which is just, more. This is what this wall was meant to be, a bunch of farm item storage, so it's doing that. I don't know. This wasn't meant to be that interesting, but, this is gone. Just look, when you record a world, you don't always have time to do little cleanup things, and sometimes you need to do it. That's that's my justification. But other than that, I want to move on to give it a sec. Give it a sec. I want to move on to covering this up next. There's not really any design I have in mind. I'm probably just gonna build something. I mean, my idea is to keep it in theme with my nether base. Obviously, like blackstone and basalt. And I might do a Ravager head. I know it's very basic, but I don't want to put a lid on it, and I want to spawn proof it, so that way, nothing gets by. My other idea is like a nether tower, but it has to be a really fat tower, because while it's really thin on this side, it's kind of thick. So, yeah. So I'm thinking just basically a blackstone box with like a Ravager, with like some decals for Ravager design. Like I'd replay it, but I'm literally just going to build a box. So I'm not even really gonna bother. But I guess I might speed it up. Okay. So this is the obelisk. I'm not sure how much it comes off like I intended it to. that maybe puts into change if I really want to do a Ravager because it's. I mean, I could shorten it, or I could add like a neck on the bottom, I guess. But I don't know if that's going to be that good an idea anymore. It might be best to change this to be like a tower. I mean, I don't know, because I don't want to tear any of this down either. But I also just don't want just the obelisk. I really don't know. Ravager might have been a bad animal. It might be easier to do a pillager head. Maybe an evoker head. Because, well, I guess you can't really, there's not really anything that makes an evoker an evoker. Oh, I could even, like, do gold highlights. Okay, I kind of want to do an evoker. One, I can just give it a really big forehead. That'll be funny. But two, I can make the bottom the coat. So that way, let me check how tall this is again. I can make the bottom the coat, which so I can have, like, gold highlights, and that would look very nether. So that'll actually be pretty good. 23. So, 22. Okay. Making the collar 7 might be my best bet. Well, okay, I guess, yeah, that feels about a right height, too. It's not going to be this the whole way up. I'm probably only do, like, 4 of these. And then I'm going to start stretching it out, because that's how the collar goes on these guys. And then I got to ring the whole thing like this. This makes complete sense what I'm doing. And no one can tell me otherwise. Oh, I did not build that right. You know, there's one other thing I could do that would be insane, but I guess I don't really want the... Unless I change the robe to be obsidian as well, this isn't going to really work with a blackstone head. Okay, so here is the new box, which... Okay, look from, like, the neck down, it actually looks better. So I agree with having done this as changing it, even though it kind of was a lot of time. But with that now, I can start... Well, I need to get a... Okay, I probably should have grabbed these beforehand, but I need to go get a bone block and a... And some... I'm going to use emeralds for the eyes. I know, it's kind of a waste, but... Why would I not? I say waste like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't know. Well, the nose has to go past. Okay, I probably should have used a different block, but the nose has to go past the neckline. Okay, it looks a little messed up, but you could deal with it. Like, that's understandably a nose, yeah. I'm not... Okay, just don't look up. Okay, next is actual evoker stuff. Another thing I could do would be to, if this looks wrong, is give the eyes... I did not know it would do that. Is give the eyes a gap. I didn't do that, but I could. That would be another way. You have the very bushy eyebrows. So I'm gonna try obsidian. I might switch these to basalt as well. But I kind of like that. But this is basically the head. I know there's some things off with it, but... Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, it might be... Well, one, the basalt doesn't stick out as much as I thought it would. I might change that to be 2 blocks wide. That's going to be change number 1. That's a... Especially with the much more striking eyes. It looks pretty bad. Yeah, definitely. It looks a little worse up front, but, like, back here... no, it's not much better. Huh. Is there any way I could make that forehead kind of shorter? I think I gotta move everything up by 1. That's kind of just the answer. Yeah, but the gap doesn't look that bad either. Be right back. Let me try smooth basalt for the nose. It'll be darker. Because the forehead's gonna suck, but I also gotta remember every other angle will suck. Okay, I was going to say that smooth basalt doesn't really work, but the texture difference does. It's not really darker as I thought it would be, but the texture's really nice. And then, okay, I kind of should and shouldn't. Whoa. And then also, I am gonna say I was going to put all the faces on each side, but I can't do that because these are different lengths. So it's just gonna have to look like this. I think it looks fine. I think it looks good. I mean, the forehead is something but the forehead's fine. Like I said, there's not much I can do about that. And I think I stretched out the regular face enough to make it look okay. My only real issue is the sides, but there's really nothing beyond this except the occasional portal. So, as like something in the background of my videos when I'm just walking through the nether talking, I think it does a good job at giving something to look at. And I like it. I could do 2 on... I don't know. we're gonna keep it there. This is what we're gonna keep it as. If I feel so disheartened by it that I have to come back later, I will. Though for now I'm going to clear up the beacon and get everything so I don't start another chest monster out here. So, yeah, on to the next thing. Okay, sorry for the button here, but I realized I never said what I was doing. So this is the Crimson and Warped Fungus Farm that I'm moving on to. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, I've done some very basic work here. It's just a hallway, mainly because I want the farms to be like here and here. I just want to have an overview of the Nether, mainly on this side. I know the jump pads here, but I want to have some glass that actually looks out. And it's the same reason the bee farm is so far back, is just so it's kind of away from where I would fly in and fly out so I don't get hit on it. So going into the part where the netherrack is kind of in the way is exactly what I'm looking for. It's going to be a very basic farm. This is probably already as deep as it's going to be. There's going to be a hopper minecart underneath going back and forth. So let's say I want like the dirt level. Do I want it to be 1 down or do I want it to be on eye view? I guess that's the main question. I'd kind of like it to be on level, you know? Now that I say that, I'd like it to be eye level. That just makes this part easier. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how far back I want it to be. It'll be quite small, but, you know, as I said it earlier, I'm like, oh, I want a fungus farm for my tree farm. The nether tree farm I'm going to build is going to have its own fungus maker. So I'm really just getting these for looks. And then we'll work on a storage system, because I think I'm going to kind of have to do what I did over here, where I have the item elevator. Because realistically, I might not even have a sorter on these. I might just have a chest for red stuff, a chest for blue stuff, because I kind of want everything this makes. Like, the warped and nylium stuff. Yeah, is that the right word? The warped and crimson, they're all nylium. The warped and crimson stuff is really alien looking and will very much, like, I'll actually be using it in future builds. So I do actually want some of the plants and stuff, because, again, they look very alien, especially crimson. Crimson is actually going to shine in that department, because they look almost identical to something inspiration I have for something later on. I'm talking like there's much more to do, but it's really just covering everything up and getting some minecart rails in here. Okay, so I'm back with my super deluxe amount of pistons. I needed... you know what? This side should be the side that starts really close, because like I said, I'm already encroaching, like, very much on the space I didn't want to encroach on. So I'm going to do myself a favor and start this side as the expanded outward side, because that's already at minimum going to need to be 2 more blocks wide. No, that's not, it wouldn't work like I wanted to. It could, actually. Because I was going to say, what I'm going to do is, it's going to be really annoying, but it would work the best, because I would get a bone meal in between each shift. So it would be like shift, bone meal, shift, bone meal. And it's going to be a bit of a weird setup, but bear with me. But it's basically, there's going to be a repeater here that locks it. And then there's going to be, that activates this. And then there's going to be a very small delay on this repeater. That way it can go back into the very same redstone line and do the same thing on this side. So it's going to be a very small delay. But in theory... And in theory is the big part of this. This should just make a loop. I just have to start it, but I'd be able to literally have like a button on this block that activates it. Or this block that activates it. So just for test. I want to use a blackstone button, but I really shouldn't. We'll just, okay, it's all I have. So I'll have to change this block. Okay, if I added a bigger delay, it would have worked. Oh, no, it won't. Nope, that works. And that even gets time to fire. So, the only thing is I'd like it turn off and onable, and I know exactly how to do that with a lever, even. Basically, if I replace this redstone, and maybe this redstone with a repeater, basically repeater hell, but that has to go a block down. So this will activate this, thus pushing this up. And then all I have to do is this with the rest of it. So all I do is this. Okay, maybe set that a bit on a delay. But there we go. And then when I flick the lever off, it turns it off. So the chest system will still be over here, so I don't have to redo any of that again. Well, indeed. Wrong way already. So now it's all that in place. It's a very simple system. It's an observer. Yeah, it'll have an item in it. Then it's going to be a dispenser, dispenser, dispenser. The good thing is I can stop it on the highest level. So this one, I can just have it be like this. Save myself as a dispenser. So I only need to go up 3. And then I do need a piece of redstone at the very end here, because it's not going to be the one right next to it that senses it. Going to sense this piece of redstone. And then doot, doot, doot. The way this works is it just throws it there. And if I'm hoping correctly, quasi-connectivity might be able to power that first one for me. I'm not too sure. There we go. So if I take everything out and just throw it back in, oh, I think it did work. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I getting it? So I do need droppers. And no, I need to make the first one power itself, basically. There we go. So now when I throw an item in, it'll just go all the way up to the top, and the world will be good. And it does double fire. Did it even make it all the way up? I don't think it did. I didn't get it. Does this connect all the way up? It does. So where I shouldn't have used a dropper to test it. Last dropper, just shoot it into space. No, it's there now. Why was it not there? I swear to God, I looked in there. Is it gonna be there now? No. Where is it then? Is it stuck in the dropper tower? Is that what's happening? It is. Why is that not just going straight up? Is that happening to the bee farm? I don't think it's anything. Oh, it is. Okay. Well, that's not that big a deal. With important items, yes, but like I said, these farms aren't making anything I don't desperately need. Hello, Future Cut in again. So, I just wanted to skip over the rest of this because it's just me making the machine look pretty, and I do the exact same thing when I replay and build the warped side of this machine. So I think it just make more sense to show it all there. Yay. Okay, so here is the finished both sides. I don't know how the replay came out, but you really didn't miss anything. One big oversight on my end on both these sides is by having the wall cover this. You can especially see it on the blue side. Yeah, that happens over here too if I have this on. Like, I'm only missing one right now, but that will spread. But it's okay. Like I said, these farms don't have to be perfect by any measure. I'm not going to be using them for that much. I'm going to need a couple of stacks of, like, the plants and the fungi at most. And a piece of netherrack was stuck in my machine. So I'm not really too upset by them not being perfect. And then over here, I just have it all collecting. Yeah, da-da-da-da-da. I am happy it hasn't come through yet, but I'm happy if we did get a creeping. The warped vine, creeping vine, I wish it would come through. If I turn off the farm and give it a sec to send anything else through, it will. But I'm just happy they turn off and on. That's all they really needed to do. And now we just wait. Did it get stuck? No. Is it full? It is taking it out. It's very slow. So that is an issue. I don't really care. Like I said, both of these have already made enough for me to be kind of done forever. But I'm happy to have the window out on this side, and you can just see the flames from gassed attacks, I guess. And you can, if you stand just right, you can see the blaze farm, which I'm happy about. I mean, eventually this hallway is probably going to extend all the way over there, so that's fine. But yeah, so now on to the next thing. See, I remembered my transition. That makes me really cool, right? And next is going to be this little statue thing. And originally, he's broken containment. Okay, one of my next projects really need to be, like, gassed parking. I don't want to do it, but keeps flying away. Actually, I have a spot I'm going to put him. It's not a perfect spot, and it definitely wasn't on the docket today, especially because I'm way out of time, and I'm running on borrowed again. But you know what? I have an idea, whether anyone likes it or not. But there we go. Now the gas can't leave even if it wants to. That's not permanent. I want to make it easier way to get it out, but that's just for now. Either way, though, it's time to decide what we do here. And honestly, I did say statue thing, but I think really I'm just gonna do a little flower pit. I mean, I just imagine it with me. Like, imagine a statue here, just kind of removing from the focal. Okay, you kind of need to see the whole thing. If you zoom in, the statue makes sense. But if with the whole thing, like the sign and everything, imagine a statue taking your vision away. Imagine a fountain. It just kind of ruins the look of the front of the building. Like, I want that window to actually be used, and building anything that looks good enough is gonna kind of ruin it. So I still want there to be lights. I still want it to look good. I, in fact, think I might replace this with moss. Actually, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because this looks horrible. So I don't have that much moss, but hopefully I can just use stone. And I know it's kind of like, I was like, oh my god, this needs to be this big, grand thing. I have to plan it out, but it just, the front of the building. I mean, I guess it's on me for not designing it that way, but especially because it's kind of so awkwardly situated here, it just ruins the look for me. Like, in my personal opinion, it just looks worse. I might get some cherry blossom flower petals, though. Or, like, the falling, ground things. That would be cool. I don't know if I want... Okay, I was about to say, I really like the giant cave flowers, but then they're going to have that effect. But not only does this being, like, a pink flower pit kind of contrast the light blue very well, it really helps the... I haven't really talked about entertainment at all, but entertainment... The Robo, isn't just named Entertainment, is literally like the Robo for this base. All my bases kind of have a particular Robo that aligns with them. And Entertainment, which is just what I've decided to name her, is what is for the Roboplex. So the pink color really works there as well. But I should just be able to place like a moss block here, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. Now, even though I'm going to bone meal it again, it's now time to flatten it. There we go. Just give it some light. I want it to be... I do like the glowing aspect. But you know what I could even have in here? Is like when I get some more pets. Like if I get an axolotl, I can make this an axolotl pond eventually. I just don't want anything sticking out is the best way to put it. The only thing I want sticking out is some rose bushes that are just going to be lining the edge. Well, not rose bushes, but, peonies. Again, they look like pink roses to me, so. Isn't that round shape? I don't know. I guess I don't see peonies that much in real life. If they're not what I said about them just being pink, what pink roses are really called, and they're just called pink roses because people thought they're pink and they look like roses. Okay, I was kind of going for like a landscaped, something kind of like the Disney flowers they have outside of that, but okay, it looks better over here, but it doesn't look that good up close. It looks okay. I need more pink inside though. I might need to get more pink. Actually, I gotta remove everything. I wanted to keep some grass, but maybe I'll re-bone meal once I have all the flowers I want placed. Oh, actually, on that, doesn't shears break this quicker? It does. Okay. But, no, it doesn't. But what I might do, actually, is on that, I could do a robo head out of peonies on the inside. That might be a good idea. Just to, like I said, going with the Disney look. I have to experiment here. But I do like this idea much better. But these thingy, fallen petals, pink petal. I broke my skull. What are they called? Pink petals. Okay. Oh, that's going to be a much smaller axolotl pond than I intended, but oh well. And then I can... Okay, so the eyes will be here and here, but they're... Instead of being pink petals, though, they're going to be the purple frog lights, just because that's the closest to a pink light that we have. Yes. Yes. But then that way... Ooh, I like them to be... Yeah, that's much better. But then also, when I remove this, but then what would be the blue of the screen is going to be water. Well, I guess my screens are green, but, blue will work just as well. And also, maybe having green underneath it will give it the effect I want. So if I go get stone and line all of this, yeah. Can I place these on top of here? No. Okay. That would have been perfect, but I'd rather have the lights than that. Might need more bone meal. Oh, it changes dirt as well. Okay, good to know. So I removed all that dirt earlier for nothing, huh? Oh, see, I even like some of the bushes being in there from up here. And yes, that actually looks really good. You know what? I love a ring of... Maybe not a ring. Oh, no. Let me see. Do I like it better with the little color splotched in? Because I might do that. Okay, it definitely looked better with a little color splotched in. But I really like this, actually. This came out... This is good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that actually worked out really well. Yeah. It does look a little weird up close. But, this is the kind of the intended viewing. Like, let's say from the road back here. I think that looks fine. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. So I don't really know how to say this where that's in view, but thank you so much for watching. You can please like and subscribe, and bye-bye! That's it. That's the end of the video. No, I'm not saying that. Bye-bye!